Good afternoon, NWS Revolution members and viewers. This is your play-by-play commentator, Joe Galli. And this is your commentator, Dan Lambert. And this is your NWS World Heavyweight Champion, the Board of Directors Chairman, and the code of NWS Revolution, Mischief Mikey Miller, also one half of the NWS Tag Team Champions. And today, we're going to give you a Revolution Impact review from last Friday. Not this past Thursday, but there's going to be two Revolution Impact reviews today. The one that we're giving you is from the Impact that occurred on August 14th. That occurred on August 14th, 2026. So let's begin with that one. What? The commentators for the show were me, Joe Galli, and Dan Lambert, and the August 15th episode of Revolution Impact was hailing from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. NWS Tag Team Championships. Mischief Mikey Miller and Someone Asked Me IRA with General Manager Don Callis defeated Adam Copeland and Christian Cage and FDR. And retained the NWS Tag Team Champions in a triple threat match in the opening bell. Mischief Mikey Miller and Someone Asked Me I retaining the titles sets a chaotic high stakes tone for the rest of the NWS Revolution Impact, with Don Callis pulling the strings at ringside. This victory over two of the greatest tag teams in wrestling history establishes the champions as an absolute focal point to the tag team division. The opening chaos, the dynamic match breakdown. The opening chaos, starting the show with a triple threat tag title match, kept the crowd at maximum energy, with FTR providing technical mastery and Copeland Cage bringing decades of TOC style chemistry, tables, ladders, and chairs. This match from 2 weeks ago, the Callis Factor. General Manager Don Callis undoubtedly used his corporate influence or ringside distractions to tip the scales, ensuring his chosen champions kept the gold. The fallout. FTR, the duo of Copeland and Cage, will likely point fingers at each other for their loss, while the champions can now claim they completely cleaned out the division. And this match was from the August 14th episode of Revolution Impact. It was a really, really good match, but it doesn't surprise me that Don Callis interfered in this match because he's always a main big factor whenever he's at ringside, no matter who he's managing. What do you say, Dan Lambert? I completely agree. I mean, this was a good triple threat match from last week, but Don Callis definitely played a big part by interfering in that because that's what he does. I mean, it's very interesting. And whether you like him or not, Mischief Mikey Miller and Someone Asked Me Iowa, I really have really been making an impact on the NWS Tag Team titles. And there was a backstage segment with the number one contenders. There's Jay Lawson and Noah Higgins were watching, wondering what to do because they got to have a lot of the strategy if they want to gain the tag team titles back at the opening bout at Summer Heatwave, because it's going to be one hell of a match. But anyway, yes, Jay Lawson and Noah Higgins from Dominant Studios will indeed be facing Mischief Mikey Miller and Chief of Staff Iowa for the tag team titles and the opening bout at the Summer Heatwave at the Wembley Stadium in London, England next Sunday. So they gotta be prepared. They gotta have their A game, because Jay Lawson and Noah Higgins definitely have their A game. And next match was for the NWS Hardcore Champion, NWS Chief of Staff, Someone Asked Me Iowa, with NWS General Manager defeated David Finley to retain the NWS Hardcore title. Match highlights and finish. The Executive Advantage. While Don Callis pulling the strings at ringside, the corporate alliance weaponized the general manager's authority to legally bend the rules in a match where rules barely existed. Brutal exchange. Finley bought his signature lady. So Finley brought his signature lady and relentless, hard-hitting style, pushing the chief of staff to the absolute limit with steel chairs, candlesticks, and tables. The finish, just as Finley was closing in on a title victory, Don Callis provided a crucial executive distraction, allowing someone asked me Iowa to hit a devastating weapon strike and secure the pinfall to keep the hardcore title. So yes, this is a really good hardcore match. I mean, someone asked me Iowa the chief of staff. He will do whatever it takes to keep his hardcore title. He is greedy. He is sneaky. He is very sneaky. I mean, what will he plan next? And who's going to be his next opponent? And who's he going to defend a hardcore title against that summer heat? But anyway, really good hardcore title match. Mischief Mikey Miller, your thoughts? I do. Someone asked me, Iowa is a genius, Joe Galli, and damn never. And the two of you have got to point that out. I mean, there's a reason why someone asked me Iowa is the hardcore champion. There's a reason why he's one half the tag team champions with me, Mr. Mikey Miller. There's a reason he's the chief of staff because he takes it to a whole new level. Someone asked me Iowa is very smart. He's not stupid. He's smart, and there's a reason. That's one of the reasons why I chose him as my tag team partner and the chief of staff because he knows exactly what he's doing, and Iowa gets the job done. Now, in the co-owner office, Mischief Mikey Miller has Scott Gale on his lap, telling Scott that Iowa is a genius and the true king of hardcore. Scott reluctantly agrees as he wiggles and tries to get off Mikey's lap, but Mikey tightens his grip, keeping Scott grounded as Mikey says to Scott, "Oh, no, 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 no. You're not going anywhere, boy. You are staying right here on my lap until the main event. And then you will have to sit in Iowa's lap at ringside as watch me defend my world heavy title, my world heavyweight championship against John Moxley as Don Callis accompanies me at ringside. Mikey then plant a harmless kiss on Scott's head, and then Mikey hugs Scott like a puppy dog. I love messing with Scott. You gotta understand, I love messing with Scott Gale. I am 16 years old and I love messing with my 47-year-old father. And by the way, I am going to defeat him in the last man standing match next Sunday for my world heavyweight title at the Wembley Stadium in London, England. It's going to be one hell of a show. There's a lot of surprises coming, and there's going to be surprises coming next week on Revolution Impact as well. Just wait and see, Joe Garney and Dan Lambert, because you won't be disappointed. You're gonna love what you see. Mark my words. Well, that would mean Mikey, that remains to be seen. Well, Mikey, all I gotta say is that remains to be seen. See now, match number 3. Sean Cleary defeated the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. This was the third match as Cleary came looking for a fight, and he got one as he and Cody Rhodes wrestled back and forth with Cleary taking down Rhodes with a scoop slam, then a scissors kick. Rhodes fought back with loads of signature moves, such as ankle lock, Alabama slam, backslide, Brainbusters, the Sundance of Avalanche, Boston Crab, Bulldog, the dog, Butterfly Lock, Cross Armbreaker, Cross Body, sometimes from the top of Cody Cutter, Dark Matter, Diamond Dust, Elevated DDT, Falling Star, Figure 4 Leg Lock, Head Heel Lock, Knee Drop, Lariat, Moonsault onto a standing opponent, multiple kick variations, bicycle, go kick, disaster kick, drop, dropping down and kicking his opponent's head, football through the midsection of an opponent, holding on to the top ropes in a wheelbarrow, superplex, multiple strike variations, back elbow, backhand chop, bionic elbow, chop smash, closed fist punch, elbow stamp, headbutt, multiple both slaps to a grounded opponent, multiple suplex variations, superplex, snap, vertical suplex, but it was not enough to keep Clary down as he uppercuts him, then DDTs Cody, chops him in the chest, locks him in a Kimura. Rhodes does not tap as he attempts a crossroads, but clearly reverses it into a spike pile driver for the pinfall. Sean Clary via pinfall with spike pile driver as this match lasted 14 minutes and 16 seconds. Wow, what a really good match between Cody Rhodes and Sean Clary. What do you say, Dan Lambert? Oh, it was indeed a great match. I mean, Sean Clary, that guy doesn't mess around. If he says he's going to do something, he does it. He proved why he belongs here in the NWS Revolution, and he has proven why he belongs in wrestling competition, because he can take down anybody. When he wrestles, he means business. He is serious. He doesn't mess around. What do you say, Mikey? Oh, I like this Sean Clary guy already. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got the perfect wrestling. He's definitely got the perfect wrestling skills. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And match number 3, Brian Fury with NWS Director of Operations Jaden Miller defeated Jake Doyle with General Manager Don Callis at ringside. Scene. And tonight, the crowd is deafening. The, oh, the crowd is deafening. The crowd is deafening. The referee's hand hits the mat for the wing announcer. And here's the winner, Brian Fury. So this was a good back and forth match. I mean, Brian Fury and Jake Doyle wrestled back and forth. I mean, they tore the house down lots of vertical suplexes and just classic wrestling style. In the end, Brian Fury delivers. In the end, Brian Fury drops Jake Doyle with his finisher and pins him 1, 2, 3. Winner and Brian Fury. Brian Fury stands over a broken Jake Doyle. Fury's faces with mask of intense, unbothered malice. At ringside, NWS Director of Operations Jaden Miller steps in the ring, adjusting his suit jacket. He looks down at Doyle with cold satisfaction. On the outside, General Manager Don Callis is furious, screaming at the referee and clutching his head in disbelief. And by the way, Brian Fury's finisher is the last ride, so he dropped Jake Doyle up the last ride and pinned him 1, 2, 3. And Joe Galli says in commentary, he did it. Brian Fury has completely derailed Jake Doyle's momentum. And I say in commentary, let's be honest, Miss Joe, Fury is a monster, but Jaden Miller's fingerprints are all over this victory. The Director of Operations just sent a massive message to the General Manager, Don Callis. Jaden Miller hands Brian Fury a microphone. I don't know why the crowd booed him. The crowd cheers heavily. And Miller raises his hand. The man, man, Don, the crowd was actually booing Don Callis. Jaden Miller, Don Callis, look at your boy. Look at the future of your show. Face down in the dirt. I told you, the power is in NWS doesn't belong to you, to a suit. It with a stigma. It belongs to the executioners. It belongs to Brian Fury. Don Callis slides in the ring, checking on Jake Doyle, who was clutching his ribs. Callis snatches a microphone from the technician at ringside, and he says, You think you're clever, Jaden. You think bringing this cybernetic freak into my ring and cutting corners makes you the boss? Jake Doyle is the heart of this promotion. This isn't over by a long shot. Brian Ferry suddenly steps forward. Callis flinches, stepping back. Fury takes the microphone from Jaden Miller. His voice is deep mechanical and terrifying. And Brian faces next time he doesn't get up, Fury drops the mic. He and Jaden Miller exit the ring as Fury's music blares. Don Callis helps a battered Doyle to his feet, shouting threats at the departing duo. And Joe Galli says on commentary, the battle lines are drawn in NWS Revolution. The corporation warfare between Jaden Miller and Don Callis has turned physical, and Jake Doyle is caught right in the crossfire. What do you think about that? That was a very good match. Brian Fury is making a name for himself here in the NWS Revolution, and he is proving it. He is proving that he belongs here in the NWS Revolution. Don Callis just likes to interfere no matter what. But we never know what Don Callis will do. What about you, Mikey? Don Callis is a genius. He is indeed the invisible. He is indeed the invisible hand. There's a reason he has that name. Now let's go to match number 5. And again, this is the August 14th episode of Revolution Impact. Let's see. Match number 5. NWS Intercontinental United States Championship. NWS Director of Operations Jaden Miller defeated Kevin Knight with General Manager Don Callis. The crowd is deafening. The NWS Intercontinental United States Championship bout hangs above the ring. Joe God, this is turned into an absolute war. Jaden Miller is running on pure instinct. And Dan Lambert says, Don Callis has been pulling the strings all night, but Jaden Miller refuses to stay down. In the ring, Kevin Knight has Jaden Miller dazed in the corner. Knight delivers a series of blistering knife-edge chops outside the ring. General Manager Don Callis stands on the apron, yelling trash at Jaden Miller. Don Callis, you're just a kid. You don't belong in my ring. Your father's legacy ends tonight. Knight whips Jaden Miller across the ring. Jaden reverses it. Knight rebounds up the apron. Jaden Miller leaps high into the air and hits a massive dropkick right to Knight's chest. Both men are down. The referee begins the 10 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don Callis slaps the mat, screaming at Knight to get up. Don Callis, get up, Kevin, finish her. At the count of 7, Jaden Miller uses the ropes to pull himself up. He is bleeding from the lip, but fires up at the crowd. Knight staggers to his feet. Knight swings wildly with a clothesline. Jaden Miller ducks. Miller hooks Knight's arms from behind, looking for a signature finisher. Don Callis reaches into the ring and grabs Jaden Miller's ankle. The referee doesn't see it. Joe Gunning, oh come on, Callis is tripping him up. Jaden Miller breaks his grip on Knight, steps back, and kicks Don Callis hands free off the apron. Don Callis crashes hard into the barricade. The distraction allows Kevin Knight to charge. Jaden Miller turns around just in time. Kevin Knight goes for a jumping neckbreaker, but Jaden Miller counters mid-air. Jaden Miller plants Knight face first with a devastating spike DDT. The crowd erupts. Jaden Miller, the hooks on the leg deep Referee 1, 2, 3. Here is your winner and still NWS Intercontinental United States Champion, the NWS Director of Operations, Jaden Miller. Jaden Miller collapses onto his back, clutching like a championship belt to his bare chest as he hits music as his music blasts through the arena. Don Callis watches in anger from the floor, holding his jaw. That was a good match. Why does Jaden Miller gotta go ahead and attack Dom Callis? What's the reason for that? And then it says, in the corner office, I, Mischief Mikey Miller, still has Scott on his lap, complaining about his brother, Jaden. Mikey and Chief of Staff Ira Schwinn both reprimand Scott for Jaden attacking General Manager Dom Callis. Ira says Scott has to sit on his lap later while Mikey defends his World Heavyweight title against John Moxley. Co-owner Mischief Mikey Miller sits in a large executive chair. Scott Casey is sitting awkwardly on Mikey's lap. Chief of Staff Ira Schwinn stands nearby, pacing with a clipboard. Mikey, Scott, stop. This is what I say to Scott. Scott, stop squirming. I am trying to run a multi-million-dollar wrestling company here, and you are vibrating like a chainsaw. Scott says, I can't help it. Jaden completely lost his mind up there. He kicked the general manager right off the apron, and he deserved every minute of it. Ira, he didn't just kick him, Scott. He assaulted Don Callis. Do you know the kind of legal headache your son Jaden has caused the executive branch? I might say, exactly. I don't care if Jaden is the director of operations. You cannot just go around launching top executives off the barricade. It looks bad for the family business. Scott, Callis was cheating. He grabbed Jaden's ankle. Jaden was defending his championship. Ira says, irrelevant. Though there are protocols for ringside interference, Jaden's actions were completely unprofessional. And as father, you are being and as his father, you are being held administratively accountable. Scott says accountable. What does that even mean? Ira says it means discipline, Scott. Right now, you are Mikey's executive cooling pad. But later tonight, Mikey has a massive World Heavyweight Championship against John Moxley. Okay, so I'll go back to and Scott says, okay, so I'll go back to the locker room during the match. Ira says, oh, absolutely not. During that match, you are transferring administrative duties. You have to sit on my lap out at ringside so we can keep an eye on you, Scott. And Scott says, your lap? Come on, that's ridiculous. Mikey, no, Ira is right. It's executive punishment. Plus, Moxley is a lunatic, Scott. He is gonna bring barbed wire chairs and who knows what else. I need total focus to retain my World Heavyweight title, and I can't have you or Jaden causing a distraction. Scott, fine. But if Moxie throws a chair at us, I'm using Ira as a shield. And I say, DM, now sit still. The show is still going on. Yeah. See, Scott Casey Gill continues to misbehave. And I, Mischief Mikey Mueller, have no choice but to make him sit on my lap. Besides, I love making Scott sit on my lap. He keeps my lap warm. And he also keeps Ira's lap warm as well. What do you think, Joe? I think it's brainwashing. I think it's all about control over something. That's what I think, Mikey. I think you just like to have your way with people. But because you're the NWS World Heavyweight Champion and you're the co-owner and the board of directors chairman, you have a lot of power here in the NWS Revolution. I think that's what it is. It's all about control when it comes to you. Anyway, the co-main event, NWS Undisputed Championship, Bob McGovern with General Manager Don Callis defeated Jay Lethal to retain the NWS Undisputed Championship after a low blow in the crash landing. Match highlights and finish. The Callis factor. Much like its alliance with Mikey Miller, General Manager Don Callis proved to be the ultimate equalizer at ringside, using his executive influence and distraction to disrupt Jay Lethal's momentum. technical clash. Jay Lethal pushed the championship to his absolute limits with his signature high flying and crisp technical offense, nearly securing the title on multiple near falls. The finish, capitalizing on a critical distraction orchestrated by counters on the apron. Robert Goodwin hit his finishing maneuver to shut down Lethal's rally, scored the pinfall to keep the Undisputed Championship around his waist. The arena lights dimmed, and a familiar booming voice echoes. Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen, the crowd erupts into a mix of cheers and boos as Assistant General Manager Paul Heyman walks up on the entrance ramp, holding a microphone. He wears a sharp suit and looks completely confident. He walks down the ramp and enters the ring. Paul Heyman. My name is Paul Heyman, and I stand before you tonight to give credit where credit is absolutely the undeniable. And he says this, and I stand before you tonight to give credit where credit is absolutely undeniable and factual. Let us talk about the true executive brilliance. Let us talk about your co-owner, the reigning, defending world heavyweight champion, Mischief Mikey Miller. The crowd cheers for Mikey. What? Heyman smiles, pacing the ring. Paul Heyman says, Mikey is the visionary. Mikey is a prodigy. Mikey, eh, Mikey is a prodigy. Mikey is a visionary. Mikey is a prodigy. But while Mikey holds down the fort, change is coming to the NWS. You, you have all seen the cryptic vignettes airing over the last few weeks. The shadows, the whispers, the promises of total destruction. Why I'm here tonight to give you a date. Paul Heyman stops in the center ring, staring directly into the main camera. And as Paul Heyman says, the mastermind behind those vignettes will reveal himself on August 30th, 2026 at Summer Heatwave at the Wembley Stadium in London, England. The crowd cheers loudly as he announces Heyman's face turns deadly serious. And I have a very fear. And he goes, and then Paul Heyman insults the crowd. And listen up, you NWS Universe idiots. And I have a very fair stock warning. Scott Casey Gale, and especially your pathetic excuse of a son, Jaden Miller, you two better prepare yourselves. Besides, prepare yourselves, because what is coming at Summer Heatwave will tear your lives apart. Heyman begins pacing. Again, his voice with pure venom. And Heyman says, speaking of Jaden, the director of operations, what a joke. Jaden is nothing but a spoiled, entitled, reckless child who thinks he can put his hands on General Manager Don Callis and get away with it. Jaden has no respect, no class, and absolute zero brain cells. Jaden Miller's music cuts Heyman off. The crowd explodes. Heyman snaps around to look at the entrance, but Jaden Miller slides into the ring from behind, having snuck through the crowd. Heyman turns around and right into Jaden's path. Heyman gasps, dropping the microphone. Before Heyman can even speak, Jaden hooks him by the head and drives him into the canvas with a thunderous spike DDT. Heyman turns inside out and crashes hard. He lies completely motionless, knocked out cold. Jaden stands over Heyman's unconscious body, breathing heavily, and fires up the crowd as his music blasts through the arena. And then, backstage, Chief of Staff Summer asked me Iowa, wearing a very expensive custom-made purple suit with a crisp white silk dress shirt and purple tie, brings NWS co-owner Scott Casey Gale out at ringside as he joins me, Joe Galli, and Dan Lambert for commentary, and then makes Scott sit on his lap for the entire main event. Right, and then co-owner Mr. Mikey Miller is taping up his wrist, getting mentally prepared for his World Heavyweight Championship defense against John Moxley. General Manager Don Callis burst through the room, holding an ice pack to his face from an early encounter with Jaden. He is red with anger, staring at a backstage monitor showing Paul Heyman being rolled out on the stretcher. Don Callis, did you see that? Did you see what that little punk Jaden did to Paul? He knocked out our assistant general manager completely unconscious. This is an executive coup. Mikey, it's anarchy. Mikey says, relax. Relax, Don. Jaden is digging his own grave. He thinks he's untouchable because he has those titles, but Paul already said it. Summer Heat Wave is coming on August 30th. The mastermind is going to handle Jaden. Right now, I have a bigger problem, and his name is John Moxley. Because you're right. Focus on Moxley. Keep that World Heavyweight title exactly where it belongs. I'm going to go to the trainers room to check on Paul and figure out how many fines I can slap on Jaden's paycheck. Go tear Moxley apart. And what you think? What you think, Dan Lambert? Oh, I love Jaden Miller. The Assistant General Manager Paul Heyman got exactly what he deserved. He was running his mouth on the August 14th episode of Revolution Impact, and Jaden Miller shut him up. And he shut him up for good and laid him out unconscious with a spiked DDT, which is also known as the Minecraft, which Jaden calls the Minecraft DDT. He also has another finisher called the Minecraft Slam. Jaden Miller, I mean, he don't mess around. Mom, there's a reason Jaden Miller is the NWS Intercontinental Champion and the NWS United States Champion. And there's a reason why Jaden Miller is the NWS Director of Operations. He oversees everything, and he reports to Scott Casey Gale. And Jaden is a very smart kid. I mean, he's really developed over the last couple of years. And I mean, Jaden Miller was diagnosed with autism as a baby, but he has proved that he is very smart, and his voice has changed for the better. This kid, Jaden Miller, is a genius. Yes, and he is the perfect son for Scott Casey Gale. What do you say, Dan, Mr. Mikey Mueller? Oh, please, spare me. Spare me the. Oh, please, Dan Lambert. Spare me the kissing up. What Jaden Miller did to Paul Heyman on the August 14th episode of Revolution Impact was totally uncalled for and totally disrespectful. And as I said, Jaden Miller is digging his own grave, and he's gonna get what's coming to him. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Now, take the main event away, Dan Lambert, because I love to hear how you would call my match and review it. With pleasure, Mr. Mikey Miller. So, at the arena ringside, the camera cuts to the announcer's table where Joe Galli and I, Dan Lambert, are sitting. Joe Galli, welcome back to NWS fans. Chaos has completely taken over tonight. And up next, Mr. Mikey Miller defends the World Heavyweight Championship against John Moxley on the August 14th episode of Revolution Impact. Dan Lambert, Paul Heyman had that coming. Galli, Jaden Miller should be rewarded for what he did to Heyman. But look at who's coming out now. Speak of the Devil's Family. Chief of Staff Ira Schwinn, also known as Someone Asked Me Ira, walks out from the backstage tunnel. He is firmly gripping the shoulder of Scott Casey Gale, marching him down the ramp like a truant officer. Scott looks completely embarrassed. Joe Galli, well, look at this. As ordered earlier tonight by the executive branch, Chief of Staff Ira Schwinn, also known as Someone Asked Me Ira, is escorting Scott Casey Gale to ringside. Ira forces Scott to sit down in a chair right next to the commentary table. Ira then pulls up his own chair and sits directly next to Scott, and forces Scott to climb onto his lap. Scott groans, covering his face. Iowa grabs the headset, putting it on while keeping the tight grip on Scott. Triple step Iowa. Step aside, boys. When executive oversight has arrived. Galli, Lambert, turn my mic up. Scott, stop wiggling. You're ruining my posture. Ah, please. His posture. Oh, his posture. I was worried about his posture. Uh, and I sang conversation. I've seen creative punishments in my time, but making a grown man sit on a lap at ringside during a John Moxley match, this is absolutely ridiculous and uncalled for. And Ira says, "Watch yourself, Lambert, or I will punish you next." Oh, he's gonna punish me next. Joe Gotti says, "Folks, this is administrative discipline. In real time, Scott Casey is being held accountable for his son Jaden Miller's actions, serving as Irish Twins' personal executive booster seat. While we get ready for our main event, and Iowa says, "Exactly, Joe. If Jaden wants to act like a wild animal, his father can sit right here and watch Mikey Miller show the world what a real championship looks like. Don't look away, Scott. You have a front row seat to history. The lights in the arena suddenly flicker, and a deep bloody red as John Moxley's music hits the speakers. The match is on the way. NWS World Heavyweight Championship. NWS Board of Directors Chairman Cole and Mr. Mikey Miller, with General Manager Don Callis in his corner, defeated John Moxley. Story breakdown, the character. The Pacific Universe adopts the infamous Mischief Mikey character, originally from Darman Studios. That's DHARMANN. Let me spell it again. Darman. DHARMANN Studios. Darman Studios. YouTube series is a villainous Mr. Mikey Miller is a villainous manipulative corporate heel and wrestling persona. Lots of back and forth wrestling in this match. Moxie hit Mikey with loads of signature moves. Like the arm trap swinging neckbreaker, the brainbuster, corner forearm smash, followed by a running bulldog with theatrics. Cross arm breaker, cross chicken wing, diving back elbow, double leg, double elbow drop to standing opponent, sometimes to the outside of the ring, double leg takedown or running crossbody, followed by multiple punches, double foot stomp, dragon screw, elbow smash, front drop kick, sometimes from the top rope to an opponent, Fujiwara armbar, guillotine choke, sometimes of a double unhook, headlock driver, hook and ladder, inverted atomic drop, jumping neckbreaker, knee trembler, knife edge chop, multiple variations, pendulum, pendulum, running knee, sliding, tiger feint from wings and followed by a short range, multiple suplex variations, the butterfly, the German suplex, the money clip, which is rolling release, sometimes while standing thing, snap, soup, no, another suplex, modified gogoplata, maxicity, which is a spinning side slam, pendulum backbreaker, pile driver sometimes while applying a cradle, rear naked choke, running front dropkick, running knee lift, snap DDT, sleeper hold, slingshot plancha, swinging side slam backbreaker, scoop slam, short shoot kick sometimes repeated, SDF, suicide dive, Texas cloverleaf, twisting snap elbow drop, tornado DDT, and a urinal dry send. Then dropped him with the cutter, locked him in the bulldog choke, but Mikey did not submit, and then Moxie delivered the paradigm shift, and curb stomp went to pin him, but Mikey has had his foot on the rope, and then wake Moxie in the eyes, DDT'd him. Mr. Mikey Miller chokes him. John Moxley then spine busted him, locked him in a sharpshooter, but Moxie did not submit. The match dynamic. Mr. Mikey Miller operated as the arrogant, cheating co-owner and chairman of the board, facing a dominant powerhouse like John Moxley. Moxley relied heavily on executive privilege in this faction. Moxley gained his momentum back. Mikey showed a great wrestling skills and fighting skills to finish. The invisible hand Don Callis served as the ultimate equalizer at ringside. Callis distracted the referee and disrupted Moxie's momentum, allowing Mischief Mikey Miller to hit a low blow and use a wrench to secure the pinfall and extend his controversial championship reign. 1, 2, 3, win and still NWS World Heavyweight Champion Mr. Mikey Miller. After the match, Chief of Staff Iowa still had Scott on his lap and made him look at the Titantron. Another vignette from the Mastermind. This time he's saying in this time he's saying in 2 weeks' time, the destruction of the NWS revolution will occur. The worst fears will come to fruition, and the end is near as the Mastermind plays highlights of Scott's matches, then of Jaden Miller's, and all of Scott's events on NWS Revolution. His promos then let out an evil laugh with the song The End is Near playing as the show goes off the air. And Joe Galli and I, Dan Lambert, saying on camera, what the hell does that mean? What the hell does this mean, Iowa? What is going to happen on August 30th, 2026 at Summer Heat Wave at the Wembley Stadium in London, England? Iowa and Mikey laugh. Scott is confused. Jaden Miller shown backstage worried as the show ends. And I would rate the August 14th episode of Revolution Impact 5 stars, 2 thumbs up, and a solid 10 out of 10. It's been a very interesting few weeks, but who is the Mastermind? We already know why. He explained in his recent promos what he wants, but he hates Scott Kisageo precisely. And we're going to find out why. What's going to happen? And next Sunday, and now, Summer Heat Wave is 1 week away. Next Sunday is the biggest pay-per-view of the summer. What's going to happen? Who is the Mastermind? Why is he doing this? What is really his purpose? What do you think, Joe? I don't know what his purpose is, but he's definitely making an impact here in the NWS Revolution. What's he gonna do next? What's his next promo? We're gonna be. He just recently issued an open challenge to Scott Kisageo, also known as Scooter St. William, where he challenged him to an 8-man elimination match. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen in that 8-man elimination match? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna be victorious? Will we see more vignettes from the Mastermind? We don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll soon find out. What about you, Mr. Mikey Miller? Oh, Scott Kisageo has no idea what he's in for. He has no idea what's about to come. He has opened the key to Pandora's box. Scott Kisageo has messed around with the power regime long enough, and the power regime has finally struck back. And at Revolution Heatwave, Summer Heatwave that is, there's a reason it's going to be called Heatwave. And Scott Kisageo, my 47-year-old adopted father, is going to find the hard way when he messes with the authority, when he messes with the power regime. And we tries to act like a wannabe tough guy. And I'm gonna waste Scott Kisageo in the last man standing match. I'm gonna prove that Scott Kisageo, while I Mr. Mikey Miller, belong here in the NWS Revolution. I'm willing to put my career on the line, he puts his career on the line. I'm willing to do that, but I will never leave the NWS Revolution. I'm Mr. Mikey. I'm here to stay in the NWS Revolution. Look, I like my father, Scott Kisageo. I love Scott Kisageo. But he's not thinking straight, and he is definitely not thinking straight. And when he doesn't think straight, he loses his mind. He loses his momentum. And he loses always crystal clear focus. He needs to have that. He needs to have his mindset. He needs to have his momentum in our last man standing match, or he's just gonna be embarrassed. But anyway, I love embarrassing Scott Kisageo too. That's why I love him. I love him. Because that's why, yeah, that's why I embarrass him, because I love him. He needs to be taught tough love, and I Mischief Mikey Murder am the one to do it. Anyway, great show. Thank you for watching, and later tonight, me and NWS head of talent relations Michael Cole will give this past Friday's Revolution Impact review. You're gonna love what happens. Anyway, thank you for watching, and you all have a good day. Dave, this is your NWS Director of Operation. This is your NWS Board of Directors Chairman, Mr. Mikey Mueller, and your co-owner signing off. And your World Heavyweight Champion, one of the NWS Tag Team Champions, Mischief Mikey Mueller, signing off. I'm very competitive. Because I can't wait for next Sunday. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be one hell of a pay-per-view. Well, Joe Galli and Dan Lambert, I'll let you guys go now because I got to go talk to Michael Cole. The NWS head of talent relations and the play-by-play commentator for WWR. And Michael Cole has been in WWE for 29 years. And next year, 2027, is going to be his 30-year anniversary. So, wow, you got to give a lot of credit to Michael Cole for being able to keep his job that long. And he's a really good commentator. But he's also known to be a goody two shoes as well. But anyway, enough of me talking because I've got business to take care of. Joe Galli and Dan Lambert, I'm gonna let you two guys handle it from here. Why thank you, Mr. Mikey Miller. Well, this is Joe Galli signing off, and as Mikey said, him and Michael Cole will do this past Friday's Revolution Impact review. This is Joe Galli, your play-by-play commentator, signing off. And this is your color commentator, the Dan Lambert, signing off. We will see you later. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for watching.